we've seen things like jump off of the table without being touched, like things moving on their own, seeing shadow figures being touched. Anything like you would think it was a haunted house growing up, but that's, part of how we explain that this is all spiritual in nature, is because it can really manifest in any way that it wants to. And so the phenomenon is not limited to what people think of as aliens or UFOs. Where we were obviously seeing orbs every night as well, we were seeing things in the home that you would think of as like ghostly maybe.
Yeah.
But it was all the same stuff.
When did the orb sightings start? Immediately after?
Never quit. From 2007 that night, it just continued to this day.
So from then on, you just started noticing things in the sky?
It was in my face. It was, I mean, I write about it in the book. So many stories that we didn't write about. I wrote 140,000 words for this book, and we published 85 or 90,000. That's including the introduction. So there's a lot that we didn't include. But
Daddy would wake us kids up because Mom didn't really like, the conflict with the phenomenon. So she didn't really encourage the experiences. But Dad would secretly wake me and my two other brothers, Ryan and Jeremy, up at like whatever time of night. And we would go out on school nights at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and just look at orbs in the yard,
really?
Right in our face. And then we would go to bed and go to school the next morning like nothing happened.
Some of these orbs would be 50 feet around and 100 yards away.
Yeah.
Huge, big as trees. And flying some of them through the trees. And sitting out there for hours, we had one blue orb that just stayed there for everybody walked by the door, and we'd look through the window and see it going through the trees and stuff.
Now, did these orbs make any sounds?
Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. Not all of them, but if they're close enough, you can hear them.
How would you describe the sound?
Like a ringing, like a buzzing, kind of
buzzing,
energetic.
Electrical.
Sizzling.
If you heard, you ever taken a light switch, and when you go to turn it on an old switch, especially, you hear a crackle sometimes when you go from on to off. That's a lot of what it sounds like, a crackling, sizzling sound.
Is there a smell?
No smell.
No smell?
No smell.
And what about the colors? What is the color spectrum of them? What is the range of colors that you see?
Nearly all of them. All of them can change colors. I don't think you hear people say, oh, there's a red one and it's mean, and there's a yellow one and there's an orange one, and these green ones will kill you. I've heard so many people talk about that. But it's from my experience, they're all the same. They just how they decide to appear in color, but they usually will start out white and shift from white to red. So everything in between, yellow, orange, blood red, back to white, yellow, orange, in that spectrum. But occasionally they're blue. They'll go from red to white to blue, this bluish white light. Not like an American flag thing, but they're shifting red. You'll see the red in with the blue. Several videos of blue ones.
What is this photo right here we're looking at?
That far, if you look at Christopher, that's Chris Jr. If you look at his left shoulder behind him where the woods are, that's where I had the encounter with the 3-foot being.
Oh, really?
Yep. And that's where they landed. The orbs landed in my yard. You can see this circle here is 2 years old. The grass still not growing. Wow. It killed the grass, except for a little donut in the middle. And those streaks you see behind him are where 2 other orbs came from different directions and scooted along the ground, burning the grass, until they sat down and created their circles. So there were 3 of those circles in the yard. And
MUFON tested that as well.
Can you explain what MUFON is?
MUFON is the Mutual UFO Network. And that's who you call if you have a sighting and you want to report it. You call those guys, and or go on their website and you can put your sighting in, and that's what.
So it's basically it's just people scattered around the country that are interested in the topic, and they just donate their time to research it and collaborate.
It's a pretty big outfit, and they have board members, full-time people there, but it's basically a volunteer. The investigators are mostly volunteers there. So, but yeah, they tested that soil. And the funny thing is, the tree back in that back corner, there's a big oak tree in the woods where I run up to it and stood there with this being from me, and the tree just died. The limbs fell, big, huge tree. It's just crumbled down, just like the top of that burning tree. Remember that orb where that orb landed there is 12 feet from the tree.
I'll show you right here. This is well, here's a better photo.
So when it come over the tree, one of those orbs, the one that had the full circle, the other two had tracks leading up to where they landed, right? But the other one Chris Jr. was standing at, actually, we believe, came over the top of that tree and irradiated it, because you can see 40 feet of the tree is missing. It's broke right off.
It looks like it's burnt off at the top.
Well, it wasn't burnt. It just broke and fell. It died.
Really?
Tree died, and then caught fire.
So the first time you noticed this, you just saw the tree in your yard burning?
Yeah, we have a video of it.
Yeah.
It was...
oh, there's a video?
Yeah.
Do we have that?
Yeah, we can find it.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
But Mom tried to put the fire out 3 times, and it came back.
There you go, top one.
Here we go.
It lit itself on fire 3 times that night. At 9 o'clock, it caught fire.
This tree just spontaneously
Here we go.
combusted in our backyard.
Oh, wow. Can you hit the full screen button on the bottom right? Yeah, right there.
This is so weird. There's Emily coming home.
It hasn't been thundering or lightning or none of
No.
that today, y'all.
I don't even think it rained today. There we go.
You see the grass is wet
We're
where
all
the
standing, we've all been
headlights...
standing out here looking. Ran as fast as we could in the backyard. The tree just spontaneously combusted.
That's my brother Ryan.
Yeah, burning from the inside out.
How is it burning from the inside out?
I don't know, but here's the weird thing, Danny.
We don't know.
This is when I quit smoking. Remember in 07, I had to smoke to blow out the window, right? This is 2013. And I paused my television. Vaughn and her mother and I were sitting watching TV in our study. I said, I paused the TV. I said, I'm going to go smoke. And so she got up to go to the kitchen. I went out the back door, full glass door, and I was standing on the patio, lit up a cigarette, and I could see this tree is 75 yards from the house, back in the back of the property, in the middle of nowhere. And I saw sparks come from the ground and go up. It looked like the little bottle rockets you'd shoot off, the little tiny ones, the red sparkles. That's what it looked like. They came out and they went weird looking. So my wife is coming back down the hall, and she could see through the back door, see me on the patio, but she could see all the way to that tree. And she opened the door and said, "What's going on with that tree?" I said, "I don't know. I see it too." And suddenly it just erupted like somebody just poured gas on it. Poof, it just erupted into flames. And it was dead. Now look, this is after the fire. It came back.
How long after the fire is this?
That's the very next summer.
The fire was in like October. This was the next like spring, summer.
Spring, yeah.
Wow.
It had been completely dead.